Okay, so this is a video demonstration of Tweetcaster on the Verizon HTC Eris. So we're going to launch the app. One of the big complaints that I have of the app is this launch page. Sure, it looks cool, but it takes forever to actually open the app, which means that you're staring at this instead of staring at your tweets, which is definitely annoying. I do know that Seismic doesn't have the same issue. So here's the main screen. It's pretty simple. You've got your timeline here, obviously, and you've got a series of buttons across the top. This is your main timeline. These are your mentions here. These are your direct messages, and then these are any starred or favorited tweets, and then these are just additional options. So one thing I do like versus Seismic is that I can press one button and compose a new tweet. So when I touch that, that's the lists actually. So when I touch that, it automatically pops up my keyboard and lets me compose a tweet. It also gives me a character count down here so I can see what's going on. And so it's pretty simple there. You can also touch this and it'll give you an option to shrink URLs, add a picture, add a geotag or usernames or anything that you want to do. So we'll go back and back to our timeline. The timeline does scroll just a little bit not smooth. It's a little bit choppy, especially if you have a long list, but you can kind of see that it works pretty well once it loads everything. It just takes a little bit, and obviously the kinetic scrolling is in there quite nicely. You can tap on a tweet and get an option for that tweet. You can then reply, mark it as a favorite. You can retweet using the new retweet function. You can check out the profile if somebody mentioned, or you can see the thread if it's a conversation against somebody else. You can also, if you touch the user's avatar, you can then see profile information, reply block, report for spam, or send them a direct message. So that part's actually really well thought out. It's really nicely done. You can see all the responses that you have here. The multiple account is actually semi-functional. These are all the accounts that I have set up. Unfortunately, there's no status in any of these. So if I get a notification that I have a new tweet, there's no way for me to really quickly find out what account has it, aside from opening each account and seeing what new tweets are available in each account. So that's definitely something I would like to see improved on. Even over here in this empty space, it would be nice to have a number of new mentions, new tweets, things like that. That would make it a little bit more easy to use. So there is a trends option. You can see what the trending tags or keywords are. You can perform a number of different searches, and you can save searches. I don't have any saved now, but that makes it really easy if you're trying to track a certain hashtag. And then a cool feature is the nearby. You can see based on your current location, or you can type in a zip code and find Twitter users that are nearby you. So that can be really cool to organize a quick meetup or anything like that. So that's definitely handy. And then you can use this button to obviously switch back and forth between the various things. As far as settings go, there are quite a few options for notifications, which is something they added that was not in the beta that I tried, and it is now in the official client. So one complaint I do have on the HTC Eris specifically, because that's what I've used it on, is it tends to run a little bit slow with Tweetcaster. I don't really know why that is, but it tends to take a little bit. So here's the options. You can jump to the top, you can refresh manually, you can see people, you can apply a filter, which is handy, and then of course there's an ad for more hand-marked apps. In the settings, you do have options for URL shortening. There are a couple of visual themes. You can pick which image service is used. In the default URL, you can have it automatically copy the URL to your clipboard, or you can have it simply open. You can also let it ask you every time what you want it to do. So that's definitely handy. You can change the font size, the auto refresh, and under notifications here, you can set up a notification. You can disable notification on new tweets. which is definitely handy if you have a busy timeline. You don't want to get a notification every time somebody adds to it. Unfortunately, aside from these on-off, there's really not a whole lot of options. So you cannot choose the actual alert sound. It just uses the default alert sound that you have set up in Android. Also, the flashing LED is only whatever color. It's only green. There's no option to change that color. So maybe those are future enhancements that we'll see in Tweetcaster later. So that's a quick run through of Tweetcaster on the HTC Eris.